Hey everybody, Matt Jensen here with Utah Public Adjusters. Wanted to make a video today. I've had a lot of people say they didn't know what a public adjuster was, they didn't know what we did and how we benefit the claims process. So I wanted to make this quick video and talk a little bit about that. I'm actually just here waiting for an engineer that the carrier is sending out to inspect this loss. A public adjuster is simply this. We assist the policyholder to make sure that they complete the after-loss duties of their claim. We prepare the claim, we document the claim, we make sure that the experts, so-called experts, that the insurance company is going to send out are actually going to do their job and do it properly. I can't tell you how many times I've been out with engineers that the carrier sends out, or independent adjusters, so-called independent adjusters, and they're completely biased. They're not, or they do the quickest job. And I had an engineer last week that spent literally 15 minutes on the job. Half of that was talking to me. He didn't want to look at anything, didn't want to inspect anything, didn't want to do his job. Same thing goes with independent adjusters and carrier adjusters, for that matter. They have no interest in properly settling the claim. They have no interest in treating you fairly. Why do we say those things? Because it's true. They are only interested in preserving their bottom line, and that's by keeping your premiums. But the fact of the matter is it's your money. You've been paying into the policy for years, have never collected or never claimed anything else. This is the most important, one of the most important events of your life. And you were made promises that they were going to properly indemnify you of your financial loss under a covered peril. And I have never seen them do that on their own, not once, unfortunately. I'm sure there may have been one time somewhere, some way, but of all the claims that we've handled, 100% of them have been underpaid initially. What we do is we strive to make sure that you are properly indemnified of your financial loss under a covered peril. Effectively, that means if you have a pipe break and you've got damage to your cabinets, you're not replacing one cabinet. Those cabinets need to be of like kind, quality, and construction. They need to be a uniform appearance, a reasonably uniform appearance. What does that mean? If it devalues your home, then you're not properly indemnified, right? So again, a public adjuster is going to come in. We're going to properly scope out the loss, do a thorough inspection with specialty tools, specialty investigative techniques. We use different lights. We use different microscopes at times. We use moisture meters. We have both penetrative and non-penetrative moisture meters, so we can determine the extent of the loss. We bring in our drones. We bring in the drones are actually pretty amazing. They do a really, really nice detailed inspection from the air that puts together a very nice overview and documents the loss. Other things that we use is infrared imaging. We'll come in and make sure that we can determine the extent of the moisture, where it goes with an image, not just with meters and stuff like that, but where you can actually see where it's wet. And that is huge in properly documenting your claim. The insurance companies, when I used to work for them, they would refuse that we use any meters, any type of tool to properly identify the damage. They would refuse that we use infrared. We couldn't use them. Couldn't use any other tool that would help us find damage. In fact, they would tell us not to look for damage, and could only document the damages that were shown to us. So, understanding your loss, understanding the scope of your loss is crucial in getting a fair settlement. Again, you also need to understand your policy. What does your policy cover? What does it not cover? That's almost just as critical. Is it an actual cash value policy? Is it a replacement cost policy? Is it a named peril policy? Is it an all peril policy? What exclusions are there? Farmers, for example, has some crazy exclusions in their policies. So you need to understand the policy, what's owed, what's not owed, and those type of things. And for the layman to understand what's in those policies, to understand construction, to understand the extent of the loss, how to properly prepare the loss, how to prepare the loss as though it was going to need to go to litigation. You have to prepare from the beginning. We hope, we pray that the carrier will be reasonable, but if they're not, your claim needs to be properly prepared from the beginning, so that if it does go to litigation, that an attorney will take it on, that they'll know what to do, they'll have the evidence that they need to prosecute the claim, and they'll be able to get you a fair settlement if an attorney is needed. Now, that does not always happen, but it is something that we prepare for. The other option would be appraisal. Appraisal is similar to mediation. Appraisal keeps it out of the court system. There are some very good things to appraisal, and there's some bad things to appraisal as well. We prepare for both scenarios, either litigation appraisal, or if the insurance company is going to be reasonable and pay the claim. This last week, we were able to settle a claim. It was originally a $0 estimate. We've settled the claim at $1.25 million. I was very happy about that. That was a wonderful claim. In fact, that was a difficult claim because it was on a commercial roof, and they had what's called an EPDM roof. It's basically a rubber roof, but we were able to get that one paid for, which is a very difficult claim to get paid, and anybody in the insurance industry knows that. But anyway, that's basically what a public adjuster is, what we do. We do strive for excellent customer service and try to keep the insureds in the loop at all time, insured being you, and make sure that you know what phase it is in the process, and what the next steps are going forward. So love to hear some feedback, love to hear from you guys. We're happy to help you out. Take care.